Hey everybody, Dr. Nelson here. This is a video about the domain and range of exponential functions. Okay, so you're going to take some notes with me, and then you have a chance to try some problems on your own, and then at the end you can see how you did. All right, so let's first review just what exactly is the domain and range of a function. Okay, so over here we have a function identified in a table. Okay, and just a reminder that the domain are all the x values. So let's write the word domain above the x values, and the range are all the y values. Okay, so the domain are the inputs of the function, and the range are the outputs of the function. Okay, we can also identify the domain and range of line graphs or linear functions. So for example, here I've identified a point at 2 and 2. Okay, so in this case we have a point 2 and 2. So the domain of this part would be 2. And then the range or the y value of this point would also be a 2. All right. Now, another thing to keep in mind, because this is a linear function, okay, this line keeps going on and on forever, right? Which means our x values will go on and on forever. So there's really going to be an unlimited number of domain values for our x value, and also for the y values. All right. This line is going to keep going this way, right? So we're going to continue to have as many y values as you want. Okay, so really for this graph, the domain are all real numbers, because the x value as we go this way is never going to stop. Okay, same thing going this way. So every single number that makes up this line, okay, will have an x and y value. And then the range also, for this graph, will include all real numbers. Because as the graph continues on for infinity, okay, there's always going to be an x and y value that we can include. All right, so take a look at the next page. And here we have a graph that's a little bit different, because this graph starts right here and goes on forever this way. All right. So remember, the domain are the x values, and the range are the y values. Okay, so the x values, remember, go left or right. So this one, the domain has to be greater than or equal to 0, because this graph starts right here at point 0 and -2. Right, so the graph really starts at point x is 0. So the domain has to be greater than or equal to 0. The range, okay, we're talking about the y values. Okay, the range value is going to be y has to be greater than or equal to -2, because as we go this way, the y value increases, right? But it's always going to be greater than or equal to -2. All right, so if you turn the page, let's take a look now at an exponential function. These are a little bit more confusing. Okay. Now for this one, we have a growth function, okay, and our horizontal asymptote is right here. All right, so can you figure out what the domain is going to be, the x values? So remember, this value always goes all the way this way forever, and this continues to go this way forever. Okay, so the domain for this one is going to be all real numbers. Because this graph continues to go up, but also continues to go to the right. Okay, so remember, this goes on forever to infinity. So because that's happening, the x values will continue to increase again and again and again. Now the range values are a little bit different. Okay, remember the range values, we're talking about y. Okay, and because here is the horizontal asymptote, okay, the y values are going to be greater than 0. So our range is going to be y is going to be greater than 0. All right, let's take a look at one more. All right, here we have another exponential function. All right, and our domain, again, is going to be all real numbers, because the x values go on in both directions forever. So all real numbers. And the range, this time, notice our asymptote is a dotted line, okay, at -2. So that means our range is going to be y is going to be greater than -2. Okay, there'll never be a y value, right, that's less than -2, because that wouldn't be on the line. All right. So now that you have a good understanding of the domain and range of exponential functions, when you pause the video, okay, and try the your turn problems now, and then when you're done, hit play. You can see how you did. All right. Good luck. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did with this practice problem. Okay, so again, we have our exponential function, all right, and we have our horizontal asymptote at 2, all right. So our domain, like all the other functions, are going to be all real numbers. And our range, or our y values, okay, are going to have to be, y is going to have to be greater than 2. All right, how'd you do?